Why did these games get ignored at launch, but now they have a cult following? And more importantly, are they any good? Welcome to this series when I go through the entire gaming history to find underrated gems that deserve the spotlight. Today we will see how time can heal a game's biggest flaw. I'm not gonna waste any more time, so without further ado, let's do some case analysis. Today's games are serious, heavy, they have themes and arcs. And although I love that, obviously, sometimes I just want to have a little bit of fun. And boy oh boy is Vanquish fun. Movement in this game feels amazing. Most animation feels instant, like there's minimum inertia. This makes the controls feel extremely responsive. And the mechanic that you will probably fall in love in this game is sliding. You can do many things in this game. You can shoot, you can take cover, you can jump from the cover, you can roll, but nothing compares to the feeling of sliding. I mean, look how cool and fun this is. I can slide up the stairs, I can slide to cover, and sometimes I can slide in your mom. Take a look at this random part of my recording. Enemies are coming. I will prepare my shotgun. I will slide from the stairs to surprise them. I will melee the enemy and then... This game feels like Max Payne and Rising Revengeance had a baby. It's mechanically so stimulating, it triggers all the monkey parts of your brain. When running out of bullets, you can change to 3 other guns instead of reloading, because remember is always faster. You can connect rolling with throwing grenades and then you can shoot them mid-air. While the gameplay is definitely fun, what about the story? The story of this game is supposed to be the weak spot, but for some of you, cheesy dialogue and bombastic over-the-top action, plus quirky characters, is all the story you need in between sliding and shooting. Let me set up the stage. The game starts slow and peaceful. Enjoy it, because things are about to get weird. A huge laser beam that orbits Earth charges up. The target, San Francisco. The damage, insurmountable. The person to blame? A man that couped the Russian government and used its weapons to cause this attack. He warns us clearly, if we don't surrender, in 10 hours he will strike again. Will the United States surrender? Of course not. The United States is always looking for a reason to blow shit up.
We will be victorious.
Time to fight, but not without an ace in their sleeves. You are Sam, a cocky but highly skilled soldier with a fancy new suit. Everybody's getting ready for battle, everything is so serious.
Sam.
Ooh, hey there, early 2000s. Crazy what people could get away back in the day, especially if they were Japanese. We soon meet the commanding officer, Robert Burns, and this man really hates when people don't follow the rules.
What the fuck, man?
From this point, you understand that the game doesn't take itself too seriously.
Your suit is performing at nominal levels, Sam.
Never had a girl say that to me before.
Sam will do anything to have one more cigarette, even when it makes no sense. And you, the player, will do anything to get to the next gameplay section, even when the story doesn't make sense. There's conspiracies, betrayals, twists to be had in this plot, but the main protagonist will always be movement and combat. And this is one of the reasons this game flopped hard. The critics trashed the story. The players missed this game entirely because it was released in the same window as Call of Duty 4 and BioShock. But things today are different. A short campaign today is a plus. New ports means that the game now runs smoothly, and the quirky over-the-top story brings nostalgia. Like I said, time heals. I played this game for the first time because I'm making this series, and this is exactly the kind of experience I was hoping to discover. An amazing game that was robbed of its time in the spotlight because of circumstances and wrong focus. Talking about games that would fare better now because of time, let's talk about a game that is the complete opposite of Vanquish, where in this game, priority is storytelling and gameplay is second. Beyond Two Souls is often remembered as one of the worst games of its kind. It tells a slow, heavy, and even depressing story about a girl named Jodie who's tethered to a mysterious entity called Aiden. This connection makes her both powerful and cursed. She's constantly alienated, feared by people around her,
She's a witch! A dirty, rotten witch!
and targeted by forces she cannot fully understand. The game comes from Quantic Dreams and is written by David Cage, so you already know the formula: light gameplay, heavy storytelling, and player choice that shape the outcome. The game takes you through her life, from childhood to her awkward teenage years, army training, and much more that I wouldn't want to spoil here. And because we, the player, get to take control of Aiden, by extension we feel tethered to her as well.
Where are you, creep? Show yourself!
The game is a bold narrative experiment. It dares to touch subjects that most games would cower away. And to sell all this drama, we have Elliot Page and William Dafoe giving excellent performances throughout. Sprinkle in Quantum Dream's usual top-tier visuals and sound design, and you'd think this was destined to be great. So why was this game hated so much? I'd argue that there are three main flaws with this game. By the end of this segment, you will know exactly how to get past them, because hidden underneath these flaws is a unique gem of a story that has never really been replicated.
Nobody can protect me.
The first problem is the timeline. The original release did not present Jodis' story chronologically. Instead, it jumped between moments in her life. 1 minute she's a child, next she's a soldier, and then back to being a teenager. It was supposed to feel cinematic and profound, which might work for a 2-hour movie, but it does not work for a 10+ hour game. Here's my advice: play the game in the new chronological order and you will have a much better experience. The second problem was pacing. The childhood chapters, they drag. Yes, there's things to interact, but none of them add much substance. As we say in corporate, these gameplay segments should have been a cutscene. My advice: don't linger. Push through these early sections quickly, because the game gets much better later on. The third problem is that the writing sometimes pushes too hard to make you empathize, so you wrestle with the consequences of your choices. But if you embrace it for what it is, which is a morality test, then it can become fascinating. You see Jodie suffer, grow and adapt, but you're the one deciding what kind of person she becomes in response to that. And with that out of the way, let me give you an example of what makes this game an experience worth having. One of my favorite scenes is when Jodie gets invited to a teenage house party. Right away, you can sense that something is off. She's shy, awkward, and clearly doesn't fit in. And anyone who has watched any teen dramas knows this isn't going to end well. But unlike a movie, you get to decide how she handles it. I didn't want to follow the whole "I am shy, I don't want to say a word" trope, so I chose to be sociable.
I'm in a different program with my own teachers.
Do you want a beer?
No, do you want one?
Sure thing, I will have one right now. The things I do for you. Should you tell the truth, even if it makes her sound insane? Well, why not? And when the inevitable happens, dumb kids turning cruel, you're given a choice. Take the high road and leave, or unleash hell with Aiden.
Go, Aiden.
And yeah, I didn't take the high road. And that's where Beyond Two Souls finds its power. It's messy, overly dramatic, and often frustrating to play, but it's also a rare game that makes you feel like your moral compass is guiding the character's entire life. Underneath its flaws lies a story about identity, loneliness, and survival that still feels one of a kind. And that's why, despite its reputation, I think you should check it out. I think framing is everything. A lot of times, if you had the proper framing, or in other words, the right expectations about something, you would actually have a much better time with it. If somebody would have framed the Souls game to me as games that have amazing atmosphere and lore, I probably would have enjoyed them much more than the framing of like, it's difficult and that's the point. It's like saying to someone, having kids is nice because you don't get to sleep and you suffer for 3 years. Not a good framing, right? So what is a good or fair framing for Prototype 2? Picture this. You come home tired. You don't want to complicate life. You had a rough day. You want to let your mind drift and relax, but you're not here to play flower. You want some child smushing their toys kind of relaxing. Well, what's better than a wonderful carnage simulator, otherwise known as Prototype 2.
Let the carnage begin!
All of a sudden, the stress of the day seems to be leaving your body. People criticize the story of this game.
Get the fuck off of me! Bitch.
But to complain about the narrative on a game like this is like complaining about the storytelling while you're watching porn. You know that the story is there just for set dressing. The point is the substance underneath. Oh god, what am I writing? But it's true! Look, Prototype 2 is not winning any awards for its narrative chops, but if there was a category about satisfying destruction, it doesn't get better than this, I promise you. What I love about this game the most is the pacing. No story mission goes wasted, and no cutscene drags for too long. From the first minutes we learn that the virus from the previous game has spread, and the situation is even more dire. We get introduced to our protagonist James Heller, who looks like he's one bad day away from becoming famous for the wrong reasons. The vehicle he's in is attacked, and from everyone inside, he's the only one that survived. Then the game does something interesting. You get to see the mutant protagonist Alex Mercer from the previous game and learn that he's been framed as a terrorist. So there's only one thing to do. Have a productive dialogue. But Alex makes better arguments, unfortunately. While he's down, he realizes he dropped a picture of his daughter. He thinks, I better leave the solo pursuit of this guy that is clearly superhuman and go back to my family. Obviously not.
What else you got?
What do you mean, what else you got? He would have killed you 10 times in that spam if you were not invincible. In the following scenes that transpire, Alex sees your courage and determination and decides to make you a super mutant as well. The medics find you and you're taken back to be examined. Once they realize you're not human anymore, they immediately try to get rid of you. In the following hours of the game, you will realize that things are not as you thought. Alex is not a terrorist, and the narrative that the media and the government was selling was false. Basically, the game is a conspiracy theorist's wet dream, but in this case, you have the ultimate power. Well, more like powers. You have 4 different main ways to pound, slice, and dice. You can combine your abilities however you want. The move list is long, really long, but not as long as my list of ideas for future videos. You might be wondering, is the gameplay better than Prototype 1? Probably not, but compared to modern games, this gameplay feels like a breath of fresh air in terms of player choice. Ready to uncover who is behind everything and try to save this dying city? Probably you couldn't care less. Ready to blow up some shit up? Let's do it. And that brings us to the end of the episode. Only 3 games this time because I have some travel plans. If there's a game that I need to check out, then please leave it down in the comments. I don't take your time for granted, so thank you if you made it this far. If you liked the video, then a like would go a long way, and of course subscribe if you want to see more. And please check the first episode in this series because I'm really proud of it. See you in the next one. Bye, my guy.